Hello, I'm Albert Saenz, your door-to-door storyteller, and I'd like to give you a story. This story is called The Two Sides of Christmas by Brendan Boylan. It is Christmas Eve. Children are hanging stockings, carolers are singing, and just think of the gingerbread house. Mothers are baking cookies for Santa, and of course, the beautiful tree is bedazzled with lights. Everyone is waiting for their favorite time of year, especially the children. They can't wait to wake up in the morning and open the presents that Santa will leave for them. Of course, all the boys and girls are staying up late tonight on Christmas Eve, and you and I both know what they're watching out for. They want to see the big red sleigh pulled by 8 reindeer with bells, driven by a happy little old man with a red suit and a white beard.
Ho, ho, ho!
One little boy, whose name is Dominic, is watching too. He can't sleep. He is too excited. He can't stop thinking about what Santa might leave for him tonight and what his family will give him in the morning. He is so excited. He's shaking from head to foot. He has a lump of excitement in his throat, and he has a lot of energy. He wants to jump out of bed and run around his neighborhood wishing everyone a Merry Christmas. In the middle of all of his thoughts, he hears footsteps. Then he sees the knob of his bedroom door turn. The door opens. It is his father. Daddy comes in and tells Dominic that he'd better get to bed or Santa will never come. Dominic knows very well that whether he is asleep or not, Santa will still come. So, to help Dominic sleep, Daddy decides to tell him a story of long ago and far, far away. Now, this story has been told in many different ways, says Daddy, but I'm going to tell it my own way. A long time ago there was a city, and in this city there were many people, and among these people there were 2 tired travelers. One traveler was a man, who carried a walking stick in one hand and a rope leading a very tired donkey in the other hand. On top of the donkey sat another traveler, a young woman. She was very beautiful, with bright eyes and dark hair. She, too, was very tired from the long journey. The travelers walked all around the city, looking for a place to stay, for there was no room for them at the inn, and no one wanted to bring strangers into their house. The last person the travelers asked said the same thing that the others had said, though in a friendlier way. Then the tired man asked if there was any room at all anywhere, for he knew his wife was very tired. The strangers saw this, and he told them that they could stay in a stable in the barn. The woman thanked him with a smile, and the couple went to the barn. The barn was like all barns. The light was dim, and there were cows, sheep, horses, goats, cats, and a dog. It smelled like a barn, too. There was one stable in the barn that was empty, but kept warm with hay, and the travelers fell fast asleep as soon as they laid down. As soon as they fell asleep, the city turned peaceful and silent. It was almost midnight. Some shepherds outside of the city were keeping a night watch over their flocks. There was also a little drummer boy a little further away, resting. He would have to play his drum in the town to earn money tomorrow, but for now he was going to rest and gaze up at the glittering stars. Then, out of nowhere, a bright light shone over the barn where the travelers were sleeping. The light was a bright star. The drummer boy and the shepherds saw the light. Angels came to them, telling them not to be afraid, but to go to the city, following the bright light, to discover a child who would one day do wonderful things. The shepherds left immediately and went to the city. On the way, many thoughts ran through their minds. If this child was going to do wonderful things, why wasn't he in a splendid palace? The drummer boy also followed the bright star, and he found himself heading right to a barn. When he entered, there were many people, and more were coming. There were even 3 wise men, who wore gold crowns and fine robes, bringing the child gold and silver. Then the little drummer boy saw the shepherds give the child a ram. He wished he had something to give to the child. Then he thought maybe he could play a song on his drum. The child's mother looked up and seemed to read the little drummer boy's mind, for she nodded. The drummer boy walked over to her and saw the sweetest little bundle in the manger where the animals would normally eat. How I wish I could explain the brightness of the child's eyes. The drummer boy played his song. The child and his mother both smiled, and the boy was suddenly filled with joy. When Daddy finished, Dominic asked, "Is this a true story?" Daddy smiled. "Yes, this is a true story," he said. "And there are many more stories of the child in the manger and the wonderful things he did." "Tell me about them," said Dominic. "Ask me tomorrow," said Daddy. "Now it's time to sleep." You just listened to The 2 Sides of Christmas by Brendan Boylan, read to you by your door-to-door storyteller, Albert Saenz. Thank you for listening.
Used by We Are One Body Audio Theater, with the permission of the licensor, granted under a copyrighted license agreement. A production of We Are One Body Audio Theater.